People like
Going live.
starts.
We're live. Everybody, welcome to the first ever VERSAI live stream.
Lit!
We are missing Dika, but aside from Dika, the rest of the team's here. This is Cisco.
Hi.
This is WINGO.
What's up?
And I'm IODE. And Dika is the invisible, tall blonde boy that's in the background.
This is Deacon now.
Yes.
He's very talented with us in spirit. I was like, well, yeah,
Right, we've replaced him with a fan. Because he didn't like our music, so we had to find someone who did.
We had to find a fan.
Yeah.
That's fan. Good call. Good job,
I
guys.
like it, right?
Hope everyone's having a good day. If you're in AZ like we are, it's freaking nice outside. Get some, get some
Like
oxygen.
perfect.
Careful though, there's dinosaurs out there driving.
There might be
Oh yeah, because of snowbirds.
snowbirds.
Yeah.
dude.
That's the worst part of Arizona is that so during the summer, like traffic isn't bad at all, and like it'll take me like 20 minutes to get to work, and then when winter hits, it'll take that same 20-minute drive will take me almost an hour.
Yeah. And you look in the car and it's fucking like.
I already told him.
Dude, it's a fucking old ass horn. Old car.
It's a manual horn.
Dude.
I already told myself I was gonna honk at old people. Forget you guys. You guys need to learn how to drive. There was one time I was driving home. I think it was from the gym, and the dude, you know how you have that yellow lane. You go in there, middle lane. That's where you turn. You use that to turn.
Yeah.
Well, the dude just decided to stop in my lane. And just and I'm like, what are you doing?
I got this. Hold on.
And I'm like, and so I had like swerve, and I just honked at him while I was swerving.
So like I get it, dude, but I don't want to die.
Yeah, he was from Iowa too, so I can tell people. I can't drive. So,
Yeah, and a winter is especially bad. We're gonna wait a couple minutes just for some people to tune in, and then we'll get started by talking about ourselves a little bit and kind of what we're doing. Maybe people come in, we can do some like Q&A.
Yeah, we were trying to think of creative ways to like introduce ourselves. We didn't have time to come up with an old montage where someone's like reading a book, or another guy's like cooking or like he's making a hot dog and like on himself. Oh no! Dika.
do we know if the audio is good on this, by the way?
That's what I'm actually checking right now.
Someone said hi or yo or who.
No, it sounds fine.
Yeah, we're people.
We're good. Okay. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, someone said
No,
hi.
this is actually cool because it's like we're listening to the.
Okay, so with the K said audio sounds good, so that's good.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Who said that?
With the K.
Oh, okay.
It is with a K.
With the K.
With-
If you have any
with-
questions, by the way, with the
with the
K,
K.
let us know if
With the K.
you're interested.
What do you do if they have it like without a K?
Without
It's yo boy Curtis.
Oh, I'm so dumb. Hi, Curtis.
Hi, Curtis.
I miss you, and I miss your drum skills.
Oh, he's a drummer?
Huh?
He's a
Yeah.
drummer? Cool.
So
Tell us a little about Curtis.
tell us a little about Curtis. If you have termites or home infestation needs, this is your boy.
Curtis.
Oh, okay.
Curtis, the exterminator.
He's great at termites. Yeah.
Right.
Curtis the exterminator.
He'll send Snapchats of him like in someone's attic, like fucking hot, some shit like that. Yeah.
Thank you, Curtis.
There's
Keeping our houses good.
so there's a local hip hop artist. His name is Kuru, and they're aside from him like making the hip hop side, it's a band. So it's him, Dean, and Curtis. So Dean does guitar, and then Curtis is the drummer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but he's also dabbling in like production and music, and he makes some cool shit.
Very cool.
Hey, stick around. Maybe we'll have you on VERSAI for a talk show. A little
Yeah.
interview.
Interview.
No, you gotta do that voice though. Like you're gonna be like our announcer guy, and we're just.
Oh,
gonna,
I'm so down.
yeah.
Like in VERSAI news today. Fuck, it looks great. Wow, we've got a lot of great stuff planned for you.
That's really great,
Dude,
We gotta have our VERSAI talk show.
I used to work at Paradise Bakery, and that was the voice that I would stick when I'd answer like takeout orders. So they'd be like, like I pick up the phone and like, thank you for calling Paradise Bakery on the corner of Tatum and Shea. This is Jeremy. How can I help you? And there was literally someone's like, I need to
They were
I
so
need to
caught
place
off
an order,
guard.
and I'm like, you're good, dude. I'm a person. What's up?
And the other people were like, let me get a motherfucking
That guy that would do those old vines, and he'd be like, I forgot what his name was. And it was like story time, and then he would say something, and then they would like improv, I guess, like on the vines. But he'd do this one where he called Apple. And it's like, thank you for choosing Apple, blah, blah. And he'd be like, to speak with a customer, press 1. And then
so
you wait
you
for a
made it
second.
sound like-
You wait for a second, and then you hear like a dude, like the lady pressed 1 to get to the phone. It's great.
Oh
People
my
system. This is VERSAI. We're chilling, having a good time, talking smack.
Nice Wednesday afternoon.
Wednesday. Wednesday is spelt wrong, just so you guys know. As a collective, we all vouch that Wednesday is spelled wrong.
Yes, it is.
What?
Oh, what happened?
We're not going to discuss this, but this post on Facebook.
Catch us next week for VERSAI's top discussion.
How many comments is there?
Oh, she just posted it.
She's posted that.
Let's
Oh,
just-
yeah.
let's
we,
just
want,
say-
we want her on the show.
Let's just
Bring
say
her on.
that's gross. Let's just say that's gross.
Well, Alex,
For you all those in chat, how was your guys' Halloween? Hopefully you had a fantastic Halloween. How about you guys?
Be working
oh,
off.
do we have? I think we have 5 viewers.
We have 5 viewers.
Oh wow, that's
Those
pretty
5
big.
viewers, we appreciate you. Curtis, how was your Halloween? Hopefully it was good.
It was cool. Yeah.
How was your guys' Halloween? You guys do
Dude,
anything? I
I
don't use it, right?
Yes, I went to a Halloween party and then I went to Old Town.
Nice.
Sick.
So it was fun.
How was Old Town?
It was fun. It was really packed. It was like,
I can imagine.
sure.
So many onesies. Like, why are there so many bunnies out here?
I think it's more mill. I think it's more mill than anything. I think Old Town was it was more, Old Town was like more dressy. So
Yeah.
it's like not as
Everyone's a mobster. It means I get to wear my tux. That's it.
yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, no, it was a lot more like people who were dressed for a night out, but maybe it's just kind of turned it into like a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like rather than people, like I feel like I saw more people. I feel like more people at mill would have been like weird and stuff like that, especially because I think college.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Renegade for life. I went to a Halloween party with my buddy that I used to do mobile DJ stuff with.
Oh, okay.
So that was cool. I just got to see him for a little bit.
Oh,
He-
nice.
The job that he's got now, he travels a lot, so I get to see him maybe like once every other month, something like that. Like when we ever do lunch or something.
Mhm.
So it was cool to actually go and be able to like sit down with him and be like,
Yeah.
dude, what's going on? How's work? How's the lady? This and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. But I walked into the room and it was just like 7 or 8. I was expecting like party,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's how I am now. Like, oh, it's gonna be lit probably, but it's like 7 dudes, all like early 20s, just like playing Smash Bros.
Oh, nice. That's
And I'm like, this is gonna set the tone for the whole evening. Like, it was like, oh, that's fun, cool, high five. I'm gonna go.
I was like, I'm at like that's my job.
Yeah, it's like y'all do your thing. I really just wanted to see Steven. Other than that,
Well, now that we actually have like a couple people that are tuned in, I guess we can kind of, get started talking about like some music stuff. Maybe like introduce ourselves briefly a little bit.
Mhm.
So, anyone?
yeah, go for it, Adam.
Oh, okay. thank
Wow.
you. All right.
Dude,
microphone
VERSAI
is-
today.
He's the one that brought us all together.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Any questions for that?
yeah, I go by IODE. And you can probably see this on my like SoundCloud or my releases, but I pretty much kind of like to do a little bit of everything. I've produced like techno. I've produced house. I've produced like bass. I've kind of been experimenting around with like a little bit of everything. I've also played techno sets. I've played house sets of all kind. I've played drum and bass sets. I've played bass sets. So I just kind of like to do a little bit of everything, and maybe over time, like I'll kind of find a niche in there. But right now, I think it's fun to do everything. I think open format, especially kind of like transitioning in between genres, a lot of creative opportunity there, and a lot of like cool stuff that you can do. So that's kind of where I'm going, and I'm kind of just trying to, I don't know, get as creative with that as I can.
That's cool.
It's like my introduction.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wingo. My name is Jeremy, but I go by Wingo for the sake of convenience. It's my last name. So it's fun because when I go out, people are like, yo, it's a sick name. Where'd you get it? And I'm like, I've had it since birth. So what time is it? Oh, yeah, birth. So the DJ thing for me kind of started back in, I want to say, I don't know. I've always been that kid that had like one headphone in, you know, like you like in class, you're leaning on your jacket sleeve like this, and you have it going through arm. It's kind of like this. Like, yeah, I'm just trying to listen to music. This is totally fine.
Except for life.
Yo, for real. So I want to say from about 2014 to 2016, my buddy Steven, who I was just talking about, we decided to become mobile DJs just to kind of see how it went. So on a whim, we just started buying equipment. We had we still have it. It's still at my house. Like a truss, lights. We've got geysers, like anything you would want basically for a cool setup. So we did.
Oh, nice.
Our first event was actually a wedding, which was also the first wedding I'd ever been to.
Okay.
So
Oh,
it was super awkward.
okay.
Their dog bit me, and I was just like, Steven, what do I do? I'm like, it's not like you can go be like, hey, I'm injured and I need to go home.
That's when you charge double, you triple your prices.
It was so awkward because we automatically knew it was a shotgun wedding. So the father-in-law was like pissed altogether. So it's like 3 o'clock when him and I get there. We're setting up and everything. He's shit-faced, and he's just like, "Better not dead any of my stuff." And he's got us on like this little countertop outside his place for his barbecue, and we're just like, "This is gonna be fun." So we did that for a couple of years. It was a lot of good time. It was a lot of good experience and like playing for different crowds and learning what people like. But after those 2 years, Steven and I were kind of like, this is fun, but he wanted to do more production, and I wanted to go more into mixing and learning how to be a better like DJ.
Right.
So like I said, we're still homies. We still chit chat. I'll send him my mixes, and he'll send me different tracks that he's working on, and we'll kind of go back and forth in that way.
Oh, cool.
And then going from 2016 to today, it's really just been watching tutorials, playing out, mixing at home constantly, going live, I want to say for an hour every other day at least. But I've played house shows, I've played drum and bass sets, I played rhythm and dubstep sets, which were a lot of fun, just because it's something that I'm not normally dabbling into, except when I'm like an angry 14-year-old and I'm like, this is Skrillex all the time. But now it's like, I finally have software, so I decided I'm gonna start mixing more hardstyle. That's kind of like something that I've already been listening to. So I think I'm gonna go in that direction, at least production-wise. But mixing is like, I'm always playing house, I'm always playing tech house, bass house, that kind of thing. But now we have homies. So so now it's cool because we get to actually like, you know, collab as a team. Versus like me at home in my bedroom, like, I think this sounds okay. It's like, homies, what do you think? Homies, what do you think?
Yeah.
So it'd be cool.
It's good to have like that group, because then you can send us hey, what do you think about this? Or hey, what's the vibe? Or, what's your thoughts?
Good. So I've got Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud. Anything you want to know, we'll obviously advertise each other and post each other's stuff. Moving on.
I think it's before we get I just want to add one thing. It's cool that we kind of all, us three specifically, we kind of go into like everything a little bit. Dika, he specializes in like, he also does a little bit of everything, but he kind of does like more. He does more. He does more like feature bassy rhythm, bass. But then he doesn't do bass house. He actually doesn't do house at all, which I think is interesting, because I think that if you take someone like that, he also does like acoustic stuff, and like he plays guitar, and he does like I don't know, like hip hop, like lo-fi type stuff sometimes.
It's very lo-fi. Really
Yeah.
chill.
Yeah.
Like chill hop.
But I think it's cool because if you take someone like that who doesn't normally do house, and then maybe you ask him to like collaborate with someone who mainly does house, like, but maybe doesn't do that.
Steven, give us a heart face.
Wait,
maybe
is that yes, it's Weavin' Stinkler. That's my homie. Hell yeah.
Welcome
I love
to
you,
Wingo's
Steve.
friends.
You're the man. I love you.
But I think it's interesting because if you ask them to like re-collaborate while specializing in like different stuff, and I feel like we could, like that's where like some really cool stuff can happen.
Yeah, true.
Basically just not limiting yourself by like a genre or anything, but
He
like
branches out.
but still like like it's still like making music within a genre, but being able to incorporate elements from like other types of music.
Yeah, like if you, I feel like if you, from what he was making from his tutorial, I feel like if you sent him anything, like he'd be able to like tweak it a little bit.
Oh yeah.
No, he's good. He's picked it up like really fast. Like he started producing like I think he started producing really like a year and a half ago. He played guitar before that, and so but he's definitely. I mean, he's been like really diligent about it. He's been doing a pretty good job. So
Yeah, I was like for the short time that he's been doing it. I mean, like I was really impressed, blown away by his Spotify profile. I'm like, wow, this is cool, and like you can easily distinct the sound too. It's like it's very low vibe, very chill, like but still gives you the energy. That's what I really like about his music. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is solid.
he's going into rhythm more now. So I don't know. I don't know if we're necessarily gonna like.
Oh, that's good.
Rhythm fans in the chat. Rhythm fans in the chat.
Sick.
Can we get any rhythm in the chat, please? Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, well, Cisco, your turn.
I am
On you.
Cisco. Name is kind of like you. It's just that's my first name is Francisco, and I just put the S, and yeah, we call it a day. I had like so many different ideas on how to do the name. It was just like terrible. But, I'm just going with the simplest shit ever, whatever. But I've been producing since like 2014. So yeah, I like that. It was pretty cool. Getting to be able to like explore and be creative in that department. But yeah, it's I kind of stay in the realms of like house, like progressive house, tech house, and house. And I definitely want to move into techno and synthwave. I love synthwave. Yeah, synthwave is like kind of like that 80s style version of it. And it's so solid.
It's drum and bass too, right?
I also do want to go into drum and bass. Yeah,
Yeah.
drum and bass. Yep. I was listening to some drum and bass the other day. I'm like, wow, this is really good. Like, I want to definitely learn how to produce some of this stuff.
Yeah. Drum and bass is really fun. It's like really high energy. It's like, just like
If you are interested, if you guys are interested in like a little bit of synthwave, definitely hit up FM Attack. He's really, really good. Like if you want to know what like synthwave sounds like, visual interview, FM Attack he's capitalized on that department. Okay, but yeah, definitely go into that. Future House, I definitely want to make Future House as well. Like that Ultimate Elements kind of
Oh yeah, that sounds fun. And Future House you can also like get pretty experimental with.
Oh yeah.
I feel like Future House still has like opportunities that you can still innovate in, so to kind of find that.
And that's something that I've been doing too. I've been experimenting within the house genre. I've been, incorporating different elements or stuff that I see on tutorials or even on Instagram stories, and seeing how that goes. I had the privilege of I met, there's a producer by the name of Via. He's pretty cool with like the way he does. He's very techno-y, but he also incorporates like a lot of house stuff into his stuff, and it's really solid. He needs to release, but he doesn't want to. But yeah, that's about me. Hi world.
It's really funny because I was actually thinking about this like in my car today. Your name is Cisco. Your name is Wingo. Dika's name is Dika, obviously.
Yeah.
But all of your names are derivative of your real names.
Yeah, you weirdo.
But
I don't know. I love going onto Facebook and just being like, Wingo, all of it, just easier.
Wait, what? What do you mean, like?
Like having like Jeremy
Just-
Wingo,
oh,
and
oh,
Wingo.
just it's
Yeah,
really
it's like
consistent. Yeah.
like
yeah.
even not even for the sake of like networking and like promoting your name or whatever.
Right.
Just like managing it.
That's true.
Like I've met dudes that they've got 3 or 4 different names that they go by because they don't want to have everything under the same alias. And I'm like,
Yes.
how the fuck do you manage all those, dude? Like,
And I thought about doing the same. You know, I really thought about doing the same thing, but I'm like, oh my god, they just get so disorganized. But it's also that's like part of the struggle of, you know, like if you want to produce techno, house, drum and bass, dubstep, like trap, like what if you are a producer and you want to produce all of those things? It's kind of hard to do that under one name because, you know, people like distinctive branding. People like buying tickets to a res set and they know exactly what they're getting, or they like going to, you know, I don't know, Holden's or
like
you know, like
major laser kind of.
yeah, you know, I mean, like generally people know what they're getting. There are some really good big open format DJ producers, but those are, they actually mainly play festivals, and because festivals, it's kind of, you can do that a little bit more. But I'm talking about more like Diplo, Dylan Francis, like like GTA, Boombox Cartel, and I think GTA is really interesting because GTA they do like kind of. They do a lot of different genres, and they have like their yellow set, and then they have like
color,
their red
it's like
set.
color coordinated.
Right, and that's something that's pretty interesting.
Really?
I thought, yeah, maybe
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
I know GTA, but I didn't know like
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So you can look it up, and you know, I think it was like GTA like purple set, and you could. It was
So what's the
Shoot,
color?
what was
What's
it?
the color associated with? Is like a certain.
I think
Yeah.
So I think it was red, yellow, and purple.
Red, yellow,
I think was how they did it.
Okay.
I think yellow was more like Moomaton kind of. Red, I think, was harder bass, and then I think purple was more like house and techno.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I think you're right. Yeah,
That's cool.
right.
Like, share, subscribe if you know what I'm talking about.
That's so cool. Actually, that's
Yeah.
that's fun.
I think it
Right,
was
right.
it was Phoenix Lights this year. I want to say that they were here, or the year before, and then at the like house techno stage, it was like GTA purple.
Oh,
so-
Something like that. Yeah.
It's interesting because they've even come at the Van Buren before, and they still label their sets like
the
that.
press
So,
room.
or
just remember. Okay.
it may have been the press room. It was either the press room or the Van Buren. I think it was the Van Buren that became in their set was like it was either like a red or a yellow set. I remember it wasn't that. It was a house set. I think it was like the Moomaton set.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting too.
Yeah, because those guys, I feel like they tend to dabble in a lot of genres. I know they have that that remix that they did for Dead Mouse and Cascade for the song called "Move Me." And that's a solid remix too. So GTA, and then they also do some stuff with Dylan Francis.
Yeah. Again, they're all over the place, and like I think those are like really interesting and good examples of artists who do a lot of different genres, and you kind of have to.
You can organize it.
Yeah, you have to find it's
Compartmentalize
yeah,
it.
You have to organize it a little bit. They still managed. I still feel like they still managed to maintain a distinct sound and style despite being like multi-genre.
Dylan Francis alter ego is
Oh, what's his
DJ
face?
DJ
Hanzo, yeah.
DJ Hansel in the mix. So going to go fun
I like it. He's so
It's like wake up in the morning. How are you going to go fun too? Start off by locking yourself naked in the closet and rolling plastic.
I like when he's like going deeper.
You're only going to go fun too.
But then like when he's playing the set, it's just him with shades.
It's like, have you ever been in a taxi cab with no windows? We're going fun too.
He needs to bring that back. It's been a while. He said he would promise us a DJ Hanzo EP or something like that.
I would just listen to him with your techno baseline that you made, and then just like go fun too.
We go one deep.
Go fun too.
Strobe lights everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I gotta show you that song. Now that I added like hi-hats in there, it's like weird. It added a lot.
Yeah,
to it for sure. Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't associate hi-hats with techno sync, but it's
Right.
like you're throwing the hi-hats in, and all of a sudden it's just a different flavor. It's like, whoa.
I was listening to some like techno songs. They actually had like there was no snares really or anything, or but they had like different kinds of hi-hats that were like, I don't know, and that was I only really
It always sounded like it was shorter and quicker, and it was like still under the bass line, but it wasn't like stereotypical house like.
Yeah.
It wasn't like an actual. It was like. It
It
was
just
really
adds more
lower.
rhythm.
Yeah.
More rhythm to it, you know.
Yeah, no, normally the hi-hats in techno are always like shortened.
Yeah, and there's always like 2 or 3 in a row, real quick, kind of like rolling off each other.
Yeah.
Versus kick, hi hat, kick, hi hat.
Right. They're faster. It's definitely like a lot about adding like rhythm and like pacing to the song. It's really interesting. I love like again, like that's kind of been my thing, is like I've been literally trying to produce like songs in every genre, because I think it's just fun to kind of like figure out each genre and like kind of like create those distinct sounds and styles, and then it's like kind of fun to throw together and stuff.
Nice. Now are you leaning towards any genre specific, or like, hey, I could probably cook it out on BP here, or
honestly, like I'll probably here's what I'm thinking. I feel like in terms of like hybrid trap and like rhythm bass, I feel like it gives me that genre gives me the best versatility for doing what I want to do, because I feel like I can actually, that sound that I create in there, I can also take it into house pretty easily, create like really interesting bass house with that. There's like if you look at like if you look at a lot of Disciple, they have like distinct sounds, but then they also kind of go into other genres as well. If you look at like, for example, like Eliminate has like his distinct sound, but he also brought that into a house song with Weeble Wobble. Weeble Wobble was like a really big song that you guys have probably heard that in the set, right? I mean, it's like it's like that's a pretty big house song now, but it's like one of his only house songs. He managed to bring that, his like sound design, his bass design, from like being primarily like rhythm and dubstep, and he managed to bring that into, or hybrid trap actually. I like hybrid trap, and he managed to bring that into like house, and that's kind of where I'm like kind of leaning towards, because I think it's really interesting how you can take that sound and then bring that into different genres, but still manage to stay distinct. That's kind of where I'm leaning towards. Yesterday I decided I'm going to try to make a techno rhythm tracks. We're going to see how
go for it.
Yeah,
sweet. Be the pioneer or something new here.
Yeah, no, I know. Like, I don't know if it's been done before, but fuck it, we're going to try to do it.
I mean, that's how great shit starts. You wonder, like, I wonder how this would sound with that. Even
Right,
though
right.
they don't mix together, but let's just fucking go and do it.
Do you guys want to move into random questions?
Sure.
Yeah.
So in preparing for this, I got here with Adam first, and I was like, all right, let's get some topics of discussion. What do you think? And he was like, I got no fucking idea. And I was like, me neither. Let's go to the internet. So I literally Googled random music questions for live streams, so we can just go through some of the ones that look good. Current favorite artist. What do you think?
For me, as I kind of just said, Eliminate. Yeah, it's probably between like Eliminate, Virtual Riot, and like Facebook. Disciple. I'm really big on Disciple.
That's current, right?
Yeah.
I want to say for me, my current jumping, I don't know, I think jumping out of the house genre, I want to say the person that I'm looking at right now all the time is Headhunters for hardstyle. Just because it's like watching his, because I started listening to him back in like 2012-ish, like coming out of high school.
Yeah.
And like I always kind of knew what like hardstyle was, but in listening to it, it was cool watching the sound develop.
Yeah.
But then watching him as a person develop.
Yeah.
Because he was like,
wasn't he big room?
Huh?
Wasn't he big room for a while?
See, that's what I mean. So he was doing hardstyle, and he was generally like bald, and he was like this big around, like really like skinny.
Oh, okay.
And then he started to like grow a little bit, and he started like letting his hair grow out. He started kind of making like harder bass stuff, and it was more like evident that it was him playing. But then there was a point where he was just like, I've reached my limit with hardstyle. I want to see what else I can do.
Right.
So he left, and everyone in the hardstyle fan base was like, who do we follow now? Pretty much. Thank you. It was like, even my buddy who's my buddy Sean, I love you. He's like a diehard hardstyle. Like we went to Wasteland, and it blew my mind seeing a hardstyle festival. I've never been to one before.
Nice.
But I was going to California Wasteland was my first like out of state show, but actually going and experiencing like going to where it's all hard style. Like it's not like you could go to another stage and get house. You couldn't go to another stage and
It's
get
like everywhere
dubstep.
you go.
Yeah. It was either you're inside and it's gang, 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 or you're outside and it's like go, and or like there were a couple dudes that are just playing like super hardcore, like gang, 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 and I was like, this is so cool. I have never seen this before. I have never like just stood there and watched like my homies who I grew up with because we all went as like a squad, and it was cool just watching them totally breaking out of like I had never seen my buddy be like da, 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 doing like fat fucking hacks, and I was like, that's sick. Go.
No,
A
But
lot of mosh pits too, right?
Huh?
They do a lot of mosh pits too.
Not really.
Not really.
Yeah,
It was more. That's the thing. Like, it was more like
Intense.
it was more like
Mosh pit.
it was more like if you knew how to do like jump style and dancing and shit. Like my
Jump
buddies and I would do that because we were like, all right, we're gonna be awesome when we go. So we like studied up so we could do it when we were there. But it was really like if you could do something like that or to start hacking, you could do it in your spot, or you were doing it like kind of rotating, and then everyone would like move, and you would just have your little area.
Okay.
But there was no like let's punch each other. Like there was no wall of death, none of that shit. No.
Nice.
But like in watching Headhunters grow to where he's at now, where he's like jacked and he's got this like gorgeous girl, and it's always him and like him coming back to the scene when he came back at DEF CON, and it was like the end of the festival, and all of a sudden you hear his like hardwood style, and everyone just immediately starts crying, and there's orange and red everywhere, and everyone's like, Headhunters back! And like my buddy sent it to me. And then I guess Headhunters had written a letter that he had sent out to like the community basically. I was like, hey, I'm back, bitches. Like,
Nice.
he's like, I tried it, I didn't like it, I love you guys.
Nice,
So
okay.
he came back. So now like listening to him do some stuff today, I'm like, it's like Mr. Head, you had, it's fucking dope. And it's just cool to see.
You almost, I feel like the artists do something like that where they kind of take a little hiatus off of their main genre and go to something different, and like they learn, and then they probably bring some of those elements and then put it into their
Yeah, it was like
virtual rights.
yeah,
it's like
He
Hardwell-
was future based, and then he kind of went back into, and then he kind of brought some of that back into his like rhythm.
Yeah. Like Hardwell did the opposite of Headhunters. He was making like big room and progressive stuff, and then out of nowhere he just starts making like hard bass shit, and I was like, fucking what? Like it's cool, but I was like, this is new. And then he went back
because
but then-
Harwell was like big.
Yeah, it was like if you're trying to find anything big room, it was always either Tiesto or Hardwell.
Yeah.
Or like Armin van Buuren.
Yeah.
Those are the three that if you're like looking for something of that intensity, if you're still kind of like new to the scene and you're not like digging around, those are probably the three names you're gonna see.
Oh yeah.
But he was playing like progressive big room shit, and then he switched to more like hard style stuff, and I was like, that's kind of cool. But now when he's making music, when you hear him like his more recent stuff, you can totally tell that the sounds are still in there. Like now he'll make like psytrance-y kind of stuff, and I'm like, you can totally tell what the
Psytrance
sounds
is so
are.
much. You can do, I mean, just with how much you can do with it, how you can kind of like cut into like from other genres into psytrance.
Time transfers, yeah. For me, actually, right now at the current moment,
This
it's outside of electronic.
Mhm.
I love Tame Impala.
Okay.
Yeah, my friend showed me Tame Impala, and like I've fallen in love with his music ever since. I'm like, dude, this is fucking awesome. So like I pretty much binge listened to all of his albums, but I think everyone can agree that one of his better works is the Currents album, and to me that album is just it's top notch. It's gold, certified gold. So yeah, at the moment, Tame Impala, I was really happy to find out he will be releasing another album.
sick.
So I was really
Another funny one. Have you bought a T-shirt at a concert?
I actually did.
Yeah.
At the Deadmau5 concert, I bought a jersey.
Yeah.
I bought the
Sick.
signature, like not signature, but like you can't buy it online. You only can get it at tour.
At the event.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I have it, and I was gonna wear it to or something else, but yes, I love it. I love that shirt. Oh, awesome, good shit.
Mine was at is that Crush. Time goes so fucking quick. Either 2 or 3 years ago.
Mhm.
It was the first Crush I'd ever been to, and
With
it was,
Data Life?
huh?
With Data Life or?
No, Black Tiger Sex Machine.
Oh, okay.
But that's the thing. So the headliner was Yellow Claw,
Okay.
But Black Tiger played. Let's see, it was Yellow Claw, somebody else, or no, it was Black Tiger, Sex Machine, someone else, and then Yellow Claw. And I remember that after Black Tiger played, everyone and I, and like all the people around me, looked at each other and were like, "We can go home." They're like,
We can go home.
yeah, we're just like, that's it. That was so fucking good. Like, that's it. Yeah, it was literally. I didn't know that you could feel that way, but I just looked around and I was like, I'm good. I'm good to go.
That's really cool. Like the fact that that they were able to do that. It's like
Yeah,
it's like
blows you away.
we're good. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're good.
Well, because I had heard their music and I was like,
Literally
all right,
nothing
that's
else.
fucking cool. But then seeing 3 dudes like mixing, drumming, and then EQing the lights and everything, I was just like,
That was the experience. I think that was the experience.
yeah. And then like how they were blending everything, and I was like, this is fucking insane.
Wow.
Like I had no idea this was possible.
Nice.
And it was cool because I could talk to Steven about it because when we were doing the mobile DJ thing, I would be mixing and then he'd have a table to my right and he'd be adjusting the lights and doing the gas and everything. I was like, we're low-key Black Tiger shit. But that was the only show where I like bought a shirt.
Nice.
And I still have it. I still wear
I mean,
it around.
after that, I mean, if after an event like that, and if your guys are thinking like, oh yeah, we can go home, I would assume you would buy a shirt because it's like, damn, that was that good.
Yeah.
Like, were they even like headlining? Were they the closers or were they just
No.
in the lineup?
No, like it was like there were a couple people in the beginning and then Black Tiger.
And then like more people.
What are their names? It was someone else, and then Yellow Claw.
Dude, holy
And
shit.
I was just like, I got my keys. I know where we parked. I'm not too fucked up to drive. Let's go.
Let's go home. Yeah, holy
Just like, is anyone hungry? I'm hungry. I don't want to pay
That's
$15
fucking
for a taco.
Dude,
Let's go.
right. Oh my god.
Yeah,
That's fucking
Yeah, that-
dope. Oh, that's awesome.
that
That's
Marco.
awesome. You fucked up. You went in there like if as a group, like they went in there, fucked shit up to the point where like, hey, we're taking people home with us. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, and I look around and like I watched people leave, and I was just like, it's like 10 o'clock.
Going to Melbourne.
Yeah, bye. After party at my place, we're just.
Have you bought a t-shirt at a concert?
So
You went to-
yes, I have. I think I bought a Linkin Park TV shirt, Linkin Park shirt at a concert. But that was because I was a really big Linkin Park fan growing up. And then there was never at like anything like EDM related, nothing like EDM related. But I used to like be really into like hardcore metal, like like,
Hell yeah.
like beat down like deathcore shit. And so I'd go to like a lot of like undergrad shows, and I'd also go to like a lot of just like I don't know, like a lot of just of shows where I mean maybe like 30, 40 people would be there.
Cool.
And there was this one band I remember I'd never heard of them before. I think they were opening for I want to say Veil of Maya. Not 100% sure. It might have been Era, either Veil of Maya or Era. And the band is called Scale the Summit, and they're like they're an all instrumental. They don't have any vocals. Like progressive. I don't even know. It's like really cool. It's like hardcore. Like you can headbang to it, but at the same time, it's like really soothing and relaxing. And I was really blown away by their music and just their live set that I bought a shirt after. I'm like, oh my god, that was like they just blew me away with their music so much. So,
Nice.
yeah, and I've been a fan of them ever since seeing them. Yeah.
Have they grown rapidly in the past couple of months?
Actually, I don't really know if they put that much music out. I think I looked them up like a couple months ago. I guess this was like 4 years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. But that's the thing with like a lot of I feel like a lot of metal bands, they can kind of be short-lived. Yeah, their last album was in 2017. So yeah,
Sick.
yeah, their first album was like 2007. So I guess it could just I don't know. They could just be working on stuff. Maybe they're touring, or I don't know if they're still active.
Next question.
Have you ever been part of a mosh pit?
Absolutely.
Which is kind of a dumb question, really. Have you ever been part of a mosh pit?
I mean, I have gone into mosh pits and I have been like really gone into mosh pits where I'm like fucking like throwing hands. Like,
Intense.
Yeah.
I was in one, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm good. I'm gonna step outside. I'm just letting you guys do it.
And not like a dubstep like mosh pit. I'm talking about like a real mosh pit, like a hardcore metal show where you have like a real wall of death. I always think it's so funny when like you can headbang to like dubstep and like rhythm and stuff like that. But honestly, like it's kind of like it's a novelty for like a lot of people. Like when an artist tries to start like a mosh pit, like a dubstep show, it's really like a novelty. It's like, oh, fun, like let's do this. But when you go to a hardcore metal show, like people come there expecting a mosh pit. And like
it's not a festival.
It's not for like crowd reaction. It's like you're gonna go hit people. I'm gonna go. No, who did it? That's actually a song.
Well, back at the Mad Decent Block Party, back in 2015, I think it was either Dylan Francis or Yellow Claw. I think it was fucking Yellow Claw.
Yeah.
They started a mosh pit, and I was in the VIP section, so like I was like, so the stage was like right here, and they were like, music goes that way, and I was in the VIP section, and like he was like, oh, we're gonna start a fucking mosh pit. People go to the left, people go to the right, and I can instinctively like tell in the crowd like the whole. And then all of a sudden he's like, all right, let's go. And then, they make the drop and what have you. And then people are just like living. There's shit flying.
Yeah.
There's beer flying. I was like,
wow.
I went to
I'm in the splash zone. Yeah. Like teeth and shit.
Damn. I went to a Warped Tour in 2016, and this was in California, and promoting California. And also RIP Warped Tour.
Yeah.
But so Attila was playing, and like like normally like I honestly wouldn't have expected them to like that was like I'm not gonna lie, that was the most hardcore mosh pit I've ever seen.
Right.
And like literally like they had like almost the entire crowd just like moshing, and I saw literally people coming out there with like blood all over their face.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of shit I associate with like actual mosh pit. Like, people get fucking hurt.
I feel like the ones in the dubstep, they're almost like fancy kind of mosh pits where it's like, we're gonna do this, but I don't want to like bleed.
No, because you have like all kinds of people. You have all kinds of people. Like you have like rave. People who are just like raving and like like again like rave girls, like girls who are like honestly like a lot of times they're like a lot of people who are hardly wearing anything and like, and,
at the same time though, I've had girls like I've been like squatting up with people, and there were a couple girls that like joined us squatting, like dental floss, and that's it.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. And I'm just like, Jesus. Yeah, I was like, I'm sorry, sweetheart, I have no crowd for you, but like, you get one. You go. High five, but I'm not gonna tell you.
But people spend a lot of time on their outfits, and they, they're like don't want to like walk out of a mosh pit with like blood all over them.
That's
like,
true.
They don't get hurt. You know what I mean? They're there to have fun. So it's
more like if someone like pushes you too hard, everyone else is like, hey, just stop that. No more of that. Hey, you get out the circle. I think like I've obviously like you guys like been in a bunch of mosh pits, but I think the most fun I've ever had in any kind of like collective group like that in like a mosh pit was a circle pit I went in for it was Oktoberfest 20
people are drunk.
It was Oktoberfest like 4 years ago. Like I had just turned 21, and like I just went with the girl I was dating at the time and a couple of friends from high school, and I was just like, this will be fun. I can finally go to places, and I'm 21, and I can drink, and I can have a good time.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I hear like trumpets and like kind of like more like skater, like punk kind of music, and I'm like, what is this? And I look over, and I get closer, and I hear songs that I hadn't heard since Tony Hawk Underground on the Nintendo 64.
Oh,
and I'm like, fucking what? And I look up, and it's ska everywhere, and it's Real Big Fish. And I was like, holy shit, no way! And he's like, oh, we're gonna make a circle. We're gonna make a circle real quick. So they start playing like Sell Out, like record company's gonna give me lots of money, and it was so cool watching everybody just like going in a circle and having fun and singing and shit. Dude, the best part, I was sitting there like, this is cool to watch, like just to see like someone in like a new type of like genre, you know, do their thing. I'm like, this is cool. You guys go for it. The most stereotypical hardcore ska punk dude. He's like this big around. He's like denim vest with the sleeves ripped off, denim shorts that are about here, huge high tops, and he's got a mohawk that's this tall, and it's all like neon green and pink spikes. He jumps in front of me, grabs my nipples, and twists. He's all like, and I was just like, oh! Like at first I was mad, and then I saw his face, and he was all like, and I'm like, all right, bro, all right. So I waited until he came back around. He sees me, and I'm already like, ah! And I grab his, and I twist, and he's all, ah! So he grabs me and pulls me in. We're like hugging and going around there in the circle. We make it back another revolution, see my friends, and I was like, we're besties now! And we keep going. It was so fun. But it's stuff like that. And I was like, you can't get this at like a dubstep show or like a metal concert. It's like it was just totally out of my realm of what I thought was possible. But it was so cool to see all these people like it's so cool watching people get down in like their own way. Like this is their own style, this is how they live their life, this is what they look up on the internet when we're over here like, what is Oliver Heldens doing today? They're over like, when is real big fish coming so I can fucking skate?
Right, exactly.
Like they prep for it. Like it's years in the making.
Yeah, it's like as soon when we're like
as soon as the
EDC,
goes out, like,
Phoenix Lights, Gold Rush, they're like, what the fuck is this little like dive in, you know, bar thing gonna happen?
Right.
No, definitely. It's really interesting to see music scenes across different communities, and also I feel like honestly a lot of a lot of music scenes in isolation, they don't realize like how unique their scene is compared to like for example like you like talk to someone who maybe goes to like local punk band shows, talking to someone who is hardcore into like, you know, like the rave scene, like and like maybe goes to festivals and the big events, but also like, you know, like warehouses and stuff. And it's like totally different. It's just, you know, it's almost like you guys both love music, but like I mean, it's just literally just completely different.
It's like night and day, really.
That's so
true.
That's so true.
Like the beginning of the year, I was like exclusive house. House is the only thing I like mixing this and that. And then my buddy would be like, hey, we're gonna play a drum and bass show. I'm like, oh, shit, okay. So I started looking up drum and bass, and I learned how to mix it. And then we go and I play it, and I'm watching people get down just as hard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fucking what? Like that's so cool. Like I don't get it, but that's cool. And
so you're not a big drum and bass person.
It's cool. Like it's cool as like a little like taste every now and again. But for me, it's kind of like going to like a techno set. I'm like, this is cool, but unless there's anything different, after 10 minutes, I'm like,
yeah.
Like
drum and bass does have a very signature repetition to it.
Yeah.
That's kind of
So unless there's some like cool vocal bit that gets me intrigued, or like some different type of like sound, you know,
you can do a lot.
I'm just like,
there is a lot you can do, but it can. I mean, I can see how you feel like it gets repetitive.
Like I respect it by all means, obviously, but I'm not gonna like go out of my way to see exclusively drum and bass unless there's people I know. I'm like, I want to support you,
right?
Heart, like.
That's true.
I would definitely.
How are we doing on time, by the way?
I think we're at 50 minutes.
50 minutes. What time did you want to call it? Or like?
We can go for like another couple minutes.
Couple minutes. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Because we have 3.
Thank you, everyone who's here, by the way.
Yes, if you have been watching this entire time, thank you so much.
Like, share, subscribe.
Right. Or if you're watching after the fact, also thank you for watching this whole time.
Yeah. This thing will be on YouTube.
Yeah. So you can go on Facebook and type in VERSAI. You'll see our big goofy faces. But you'll be able to check us out individually and as a collective.
Absolutely.
So that's what's cool. Like what I said at the beginning, is being part of a collective is cool because we can share ideas.
Right.
But at the same time, you're gonna find a page that's IODE. You're gonna find a page that's Cisco and Dika and Wingo. So it's always fun.
What's the next one?
This one will be quick. Do you listen to any religious music? Kanye. Next question.
Kanye.
Name a song that makes you cry.
Oh,
This will be the last question.
Oh.
Get in your feels, bro.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Get in your feels.
Okay. So I was at EDC and I was completely sober. And Timmy Trumpet, he closed out his set with a remix of I think it was "Shadow of the Day" by Linkin Park. And like,
damn.
and like, yeah.
Little metalhead heart.
Yeah, dude, I was like,
tears.
I was like, literally, I started bawling, and I was like, oh my god, well, just because of like, I mean, not necessarily the song by itself, but you know, like with
obviously,
with
yeah,
yeah. So that was like really, like I had met him before, and so that was like really
cool.
Yeah, I was like really, and I was literally like, Linkin Park was such a big influence to me growing up. I don't fucking.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Linkin Park was one of the first CDs. Like Meteora was, I think.
Hybrid Theory.
Yeah, Meteora and Hybrid Theory were my first CDs when I first like got in the CD player.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
It struck a chord with you. Essentially.
Yeah, definitely. Like I literally could not hold back tears. Like I mean,
So
I think it was a remix of Shadow of the Day. I'm pretty sure, but it was still like I was like, oh fuck, like these tears are coming. Like they're not. I can't stop it. They're coming.
Yeah.
They're coming.
It
Like,
just
look at me.
it's sometimes you can just like, and you feel your body like, oh god, and it's just, oh, there it is. Oh man.
And it was funny because it was at EDC, so I was kind of like, everyone probably thinks I'm just rolling really hard, or I'm like on drugs, and I'm like, I'm completely sober right now. Like I'm not on any drugs. This is just like these are genuine feelings.
These are real tears.
This is not made up by drugs whatsoever.
Yup. I want to say for me, the song that makes me cry is "Shelter" by Porter Robinson.
Oh, okay. Love Porter Robinson.
I think I've grown used to hearing Above and Beyond and Cascade. It's where like their songs like they'll make me happy and I might tear up a bit just because of like it was one of the first songs I was listening to when I was learning about like progressive and shit, and I was like, this is really pretty and makes me happy. But there's something about Shelter that just, it's the whole concept that Porter Robinson got with a team in Asia to do the art for it, to do the whole animation for it. Like he got with people to make Shelter a project.
Right.
It wasn't just like, hey, here's a cool song, check it out.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, this is going to be a whole experience for you guys. And after, like, I learned about that before I listened to Shelter. Like, I watched his little, like, videos on how he was promoting it.
Yeah.
And, like, how he got with the team. And it was cool listening to the people that were on the team. They're just like, you know what? Like, I thought it was just going to be another work day, just like another artist, you know, that we would just work with to do it. But they're like, after meeting him, and we learn how nice he is and how genuine of a person he is.
He looks genuine.
Yeah, they're like, we want this to be special.
Yeah.
Like they're like, there is overtime, countless hours put into this. There is everyone as a collective blood, sweat, and tears in this project.
Yeah.
And still, like, I still to today, I want to say I've watched the music video for it 10 or 12 times. I haven't been able to get through it without crying, at least at one point. Like I hit it and I just hear like the and I'm just like, oh god, okay. And I'm like gonna fill up. Yeah, it just hits. I can't help it, but it's like you said, like it just strikes a chord.
It strikes a chord. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I like his what's his favorites? Virtual Self.
Oh yeah, Virtual Self's good. Yeah.
Ba-da-da-da-da.
I feel like the Porter Robinson song that he did with Matt Zoe.
Oh my god! Yeah, there's no key point. It's just a like.
That's so hard.
You're just like, oh god! Here it comes!
Yeah. For me, it would have to be well, I don't think it's like a song. There's one by Dead Mouse called Polaris, and I thought that's a masterpiece in my opinion, along with like Strobe, of course. You know, everyone knows Strobe. But there was when I went to the Dead Mouse concert not too long ago, he played a song that if you are a true Dead Mouse fan, you can only find on YouTube, because when he was releasing music back on SoundCloud, he deleted his SoundCloud and what have you, but people would like take those, they would rip them off, SoundCloud, upload them on YouTube and make like these great visuals for it. But there was one that he eventually trashed and becoming like a different song, but I know for a fact like what it was, and so when he played it on the set, like I was like, what the fuck, he's playing the song?
Yeah.
And my friend next to me, she was like, oh, is this, so and so? And she said a different time, like, no, this is one that you cannot find anywhere.
Yeah, it's like you have no idea what this is.
Yeah, and the song is called "Where Phantoms Sleep." I think it's like 04, which is like probably like the fourth edit of the song. But like people, and I noticed in the crowd too.
Oh yeah, you see the like,
yeah, like,
yeah,
people,
the
like,
little
people
light
were like
bulbs go
vibing.
off.
Yeah, people were vibing.
Yeah.
And as soon as he played that, people were like whispering to each other, and the real fans like me, they were like, like they were just like, yeah, like they were cheering, and I knew, I'm like, I know the song, and no one else knows. I'm like,
Yeah, right. That's always like a fun feeling too, when you like, like this song is like, it's like somewhat of their underground tracks.
Yeah, like you can't find anywhere it's like for sale or anything. It's awesome.
I remember when I first started going to festivals, it was always fun to hear those like specific songs. You look at the person next to you, whether you guys are rolling dick together or not, you just immediately like I remember I looked at this dude and he looked at me and I was just like, I literally just like, I pulled down my mask and I was just like, like kind of like about to cry. And he was just like, yeah, and then we hugged and we just like, oh, it was so great. But you like that, like it's cool because it's really cool knowing that you can go to shows and like you're saying about like people of all different like time frames of music and like experiences with it. It's cool to see those little sparks, those little like light bulbs go off with other people.
Yeah.
It's
like you're all immediately like same frequency.
Yeah,
let's all go.
Yeah, exactly. When when they play a song and no one else does, no one else does, it's like holy shit. That's my buddy did that one time. He was we were kind of drunk a little high as well, but like we went to a concert and like we didn't even know the song that played until like I had to look it up. But like as soon as that hit, it like me and my like, oh, this is good. And he was like, yeah. He's like, I feel this one. And so he was like right next to where the bass was. He's like, I feel this one. This one's good.
What do you think, Duca?
Lots of contributions. I think we're gonna wrap things up now. We're nearing that hour mark. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed getting to meet each one of us and get to know us a little bit more. We'll be doing these every Wednesday for the foreseeable future. They'll vary every week. We'll kind of just have different plans. Sometimes we'll have like guest DJs or even producers on, or sometimes they'll just be like live sessions of us working in like in Record Box or on our controllers or in Ableton. Really, I mean, they're just going to vary all over the place. They're going to, consistent topic of music, obviously, but I mean, we're going to have all sorts of cool things. We want to have guest mixes eventually, so when we have those guest mixes, we'll probably do some, like, those will be on Thursdays, and then we'll have a guest interview on a live stream the Wednesday that came the day before. So again, we have lots of cool content coming for you guys. I encourage you to subscribe and like this video as well. Check out all of our pages. Again, we got lots of cool stuff coming for you. And thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Bye-bye. Shout out Markiplier. Hello, everybody.